RealGenericDemon, and this is What's on the Tape, Season 26, Volume 10. Next week, we get to choose from one of those two games that I showed last week. I can't even remember what they are. Oh, I can. I'm going to go grab them. You stay there. I'll be back in a second. I'm just running across the room. I'll be back in a minute. Hang on. I'm coming. Oh, coming. I'm coming. Actually, I've got something as well. Interesting. I'm coming back, right? Anyway, so yeah, it's one of these two games basically. So it was either the live action or it was the oh god, you can see it's so uncoordinated. The Great Games 2, which has got loads of stuffs on it. Anyway, but this week we're finishing off this final tape here. This is the last one from OnyxBox. Details in the description below of his Bluesky account if you want to follow him. So this is what was left. So we've got Codename Matt, we've got Wizard's Lair, Technical Ted, we have we've got Mutant Monty. I quite like Mutant Monty. We've got Snooker, we've got Android 2, we've got On the Run, we've got Covenant, we've got Super Pipe 2, and Circus of Adventure, which is a lot of things to get through this week. So we're going to get through those anyway. But this is one of the things I did want to show you, because I spotted it the other day, and I feel a bit bad for it, because it's one of the shows that actually did okay, you know, considering Disney did okay with Andor recently. This is one of these shows that it was actually okay, and it wasn't a bad Star Wars sort of thing, but didn't really get the credit it should have done. I picked this up the other day, which is, I can't remember how you pronounce it. It's Jod Narwood, but basically it's Jude Law. So there you go, Jude Law and Skeleton Crew. I picked that up the other day, and do you know what? I don't regret it, because there's another one coming. Actually, there's another character. There's the C-33, I think it's called, the robot, and I like the robots, but it was just really cheap, and I can see why, because nobody wants it, because it's that series that nobody really liked. It's a bit like buying things for the Acolyte. Nobody liked it, but it's there. But I got it the other day because it was the only thing. And that's all I've collected. No games at all. Nothing else. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into this, because there is a lot to play. There's a lot to play this week. Right, the tape is in the drive, so we'll go down to our favourite, which is Basic and Load Speech Max. How you all been? You had a good week? I tell you what amused me. I was just reading through the comments before I started recording this today, and there's one from Tom. Tom's a long time friend of the channel, certainly, and to me, I think, because he's always there. But Tom commented about last week, said it was peak What's on the Tape. It was peak. It was like 5 hours of actual gameplay and an hour of me just prattling on about stuff, and it's perfectly correct. It's exactly what it is. Spect A. Oh. So somebody's copied the Bo Jolly collection here. Okay. So that explains a lot. So that's the first 5 games on here. The first 5 games on there. That's fine. Okay, well, let's just do... I'm sure Load It will work for this next bit. Yeah, compute... Oh! Do you hear that? There's a little bit... Yeah, Codename Matt. This is a game that I keep playing, and I'm sure it's Micro Mega that produced it. But I keep playing this particular game, and to be honest with you, I feel like I should love it, but I just don't, and I don't dislike it. I just it never gets on with me. I think it's one of the things about it is that a lot of the games, like, you know, I don't know about you, but as a kid, I tended to put them in and then read the manual as it loaded. In the case of where you had special ones, it was always sort of hit and miss, so you sort of saw them loading, and then you hoped you could guess the keys if they needed to be guessed. Or you could define the keys, which was definitely a bonus if you could do that. And then, yeah, it's a Micro Mega. That's correct. I can't believe I got that right, actually. But the point was that we kind of guessed our way and fumbled our way through them. So if they were a little bit more complex or slightly different than the norm, we didn't tend to revisit them in the same sort of way. So they were really obvious, like a shoot 'em up of some sort, or sort of some kind of platform game where you're picking stuff up and down. You kind of got that. And with the ever-present trip to W.H. Smith's to pick up a copy of Crash magazine or your Sinclair, a Sinclair user, and sort of have a little look through there and see if you can read the reviews and find out what was what. Do you know what? A lot of people think it was the beginning of the end when they started putting cassettes on the front of sort of magazines and with games and all kinds of stuff. I don't hold with that was the beginning of the end. I think that was actually a lovely addition. I know the magazines got thinner as it went along, which is a bit of a shame, but I still don't really feel that was completely bad. Because I mean, think about it. You went and got a magazine. You also got usually some pokes, some weird game that they had sort of put up, that somebody sent in that would have normally not got a release. I mean, in a strange sort of way, it kind of. I mean, do you remember there was a game called Vatman where I'm sure he was like jumping in and out of vats, not as in VAT, like Vatman as in tax, but I'm sure there was one version like that. And I can't help feeling that some of these things would never see. Was it one with the Blob as well? There was some cop game as well like that. These things, though, I don't think would have seen the light of the day on the Spectrum otherwise. I mean, there was some good stuff on these things. Banzai Bear got quite a lot of stuff from Sinclair User, didn't he? He got quite a few games. But as I say, I don't think they would have got the light of day. I think that early on in What's on the Tape, I used to actually play some of these. When we ran out of things, I used to pick out one of these sort of, Crash magazines. Crash magazine was a little bit different, though. Crash usually gave you 4 complete games and didn't do the whole curating something. I mean, that must have been a massive task, by the way. Curating something in literally a month between printing month-wise, unless they were sort of thinking about it year-wide. I don't know. Some weird technologies, of course, back in the day as well. Because there wasn't ways to take photos of screens, so they had sort of, it's the word cowls, isn't it? Where they kind of cover the screen, and you put the camera in the centre of it, so you could take a photograph of the flattest screen you could with the game on it. That was how they used to do it. It was really weird. Just thinking about it, thinking about the fact that there was no way to get out of what you had on a computer into something that was, that was sort of destined to happen, wasn't it? Right, let's see if we can bypass that. Let's get PlayZX at this, because that's the best way to go, I think. Pushed the key there when I was doing that. Let's get PlayZX at this, and we'll see if we get codename Matt just reaching over for my phone and squawking at the same time, and old age kicking in. I'm not that old. I don't feel that old anymore. I feel quite young, actually. Quite sprightly now. My sort of health is a lot better. Amazing, really. Right, let's have a look at this. Codename Matt from Micromega. Yes, that's the one we want. Let's push the play button on there. Let's push load it. Let's press enter. It got loads of re-releases. Codename Matt, its original one, got re-released by Zeppelin. Was re-released by Dixon's. I think that was in one of them horrible grey ones. The grey sort of paper ones that they did. Do you know what? I bet they were great value for money back in the day, though. Those grey Dixon's things. And then there's a codename Matt 2, which came out from Denmark, followed by Bug Bite re-release. I wonder if Denmark bought Micromega. Don't know. Don't know. Anyway, yeah. So coffee on the hand. I hope you've got a beverage. I've got one. I've got it in my dairy milk mug. Oh, I love a bit of coffee. I love a beverage. Still love it. Right, yeah, no. So yeah, there was about 5. Was it 5, 6, or even 7 games that Dixon's did in that sort of grey style. Same with Curry's. They did them as well. Was it Dixon's and Curry's who did that, or were Dixon's slightly different? I feel like they were the same. I think both of them had like a little set of games because wasn't Curry's owned by Dixon's, or Dixon's was owned by Curry's, or was that later? I think that might have been later that they got the Dixon's certainly doesn't exist anymore. Curry's does, except it's now Curry's PC World, isn't it? That's what it is now. Or is it Curry's? Yes, Curry's PC World, or PC World Curry's. No, Curry's PC World sort of disappeared into the whole thing. I mean, that's still a big part for them, selling PCs like that. But to be fair, I know they're selling stuff, but there's very little margin in that nowadays. There's very, very little in the way of sort of money to be made from it, with the suppliers also dipping in here and flogging their own kit online. It really doesn't make a lot of. The reason you're buying it from them is because there might be a warranty, I suppose. Don't know. Yeah, I also don't see how they get away with selling things that are really crap, and they knowingly crap. But there's clearly a market for crap, So it is what it is. And of course, Curry still sells various bits. The hilarious part about that is I don't think I've ever bought anything from Curry's where I haven't literally gone in the store, searched on their website, Curry's website, to see the online price, and then have them match it in the store. What's the point in that? Why don't you give us the online price in the store to begin with? Then you'd sell more in the store. Because they have a price match thing, and they'll price match their online store. There's maybe it's just me. Oh well. Right, interesting world. Did you get your popcorn out yesterday for the inevitable, a very inevitable Trump-Musk fallout on both of their social media sites? Yes, two adult men arguing about money effectively and not really giving a damn. Most powerful man in the world, theoretically, Mr. Trump, and the richest man in the world, Mr. Musk, arguing on the interweb. It's kind of sad, isn't it? I don't do politics normally, but certainly on this channel, apart from maybe possibly a bit of realism, but I don't normally do a bit of politics on the channel. But that one I couldn't let go. That one. I'm waiting for the rematch now. I don't know about you, but it's literally I've got my popcorn now. I'm waiting for the rematch. It's really weird though that they've stopped. I don't think either of them has done yet. I don't think it's out of their system. I think the dogs with bones, and it will continue beyond the sort of initial sort of stage of the whole thing. I do think that the from as an outside bystander who. I would say, affected very smallly in the sense of economically in the UK, because we don't sell an awful lot to the US. Is the answer to that, realistically. But pharmaceuticals, maybe. Yeah, well, fair enough. But the point is that from an outside point of view, while they're bickering amongst themselves, at least they're not putting tariffs on everything else, I suppose, is the answer to that. Right. Oh, Derek Brewster, good old Derek Brewster. Brewster's Millions. Remember that? Richard Pryor, where his uncle is. It's a sign of the times, isn't it? Richard Pryor and his uncle's very white. It's hilarious. Anyway, and yeah, honestly, that's a joke as well within its own right within the movie. But yes, the Brewster's Millions. Remember that one where he had to spend $30 million in a single month, but have nothing to show for it bar the shirt off his back. I rather like that one. John Candy in it, actually. John Candy, right, keyboard. Any keys? No. Play level 1. I want to be Commander. Red alert. I've got a button. Yes, I remember this. You got to beam places. What? I killed it. I've died already. That's me accelerating, I think. Yeah, you got a beam somewhere, don't you? And I'm sure that the answer for it all is something like rear view. Yeah. Oh, there's a TIE fighter thing there. I paused it again. I've nuked something. Centurion destroyed. That's my ship, because that was in the loading screen, wasn't it? Red alert. Yeah, red alert. Doing really well here. Oh, hang on. Front view. Saturn under attack. Approaching Titan. Warp engaged. Where am I warping to? Red alert. It's the curse keys. It's the curse keys. Yes. So I'm sure you have to collect like letters or something, or is that Starion? That's Starion, isn't it? What was the front view? I'm sure I saw it before. There's front view. I'm sure it was maybe it's Starion actually. You have to collect letters. The worst part about it is this actually looks like a great deal of effort and a lot of work, but without the manual, you're kind of a little bit like, well, what do I do? What am I trying to do? There's clearly there's a map somewhere. What was the map? I saw it earlier. That one. And there's jump points to it. And where am I going from there? I've got to go to Uranus. But the point is, can't go to Pluto. It's not a planet anymore. But you got to go to Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. I'm so sad. But the point is that you've got to destroy whatever's there when you work out how to do it. Warp drive engaged. I don't know where I'm warping to. Planet has been destroyed. We've got the rear view again. Well, if anybody comes up behind me, I can definitely shoot them. Right? Okay, let's carry on. I'm doing this. Although we'll go with it's peak. What's on the tape? We're not going to see much more than that because I can't work out how to play it. So let's continue on. Wizard's Lair. Let's fast forward the tape. We like a bit of tape action. I do like a good tape, you know. I'm actually so amazed when these things load. You know, these are from the 80s. There we go, there's space there. These games are from the 80s, the 1980s, these games. All the way through to sort of the early 90s. What would you say is the actual sort of death of the spectrum, you know, in the sense of I know, when did they stop making them? I'm not even sure of that, actually. I should know that. I should really know that, for that idea. But what was the point where the spectrum sort of, they stopped making them? I'm going to go with about 92 to 93, and that's still quite a run. That's 10-year run from the original release of the Spectrum in 1982, the 48K. Forget the ZX80, ZX81 and the ZX80, but the original release of the Spectrum, and this is a real birth point for the whole thing. This isn't going to load, peoples. There's Stephen Crow. I do like Stephen Crow and his Wizard's Lair. It's a good game. I've actually got a copy of it behind me, which I'm going to get down now because this isn't going to load. That was gifted to me by the lovely Daryl, and he gifted the Wizard's Lair to me. It's a lovely case. A picture of a wizard on the front, all in sort of white, with a little sort of a star on the front of him and a wand, and it's all crackling with light. It was a Crash Mash game back in the day as well, and it's definitely not going to load, so we're not even going to keep trying. So I'm going to get this out, and I'm sure this version of it will work beautifully. The cassette is beautiful. He collects up nice cassettes as well. He puts them all into nice cassettes, and I don't blame him. That's a good thing to do. So let's load it from it. It's a great game, Wizard's Lair. It's a bit Attic Attack type thing, but obviously not Attic Attack. I mean, Stephen Crow is responsible for the amazingly good Starquake, a game that I always want to know how to play, but never play very well. We're trapped in an underground cave. Pothole Pete stumbles upon the wizard's lair, a massive subterranean network of interconnecting caves, rooms, and passages. It's a good loader, this one. This is the original loader. His only chance to find escape is to find 4 pieces of a golden lion, which is spread all over the caves. Exactly the same plot as Attic Attack, where you get trapped in a castle and you have to escape by finding 3 pieces of the ACG key. Was it 4 pieces? It might even be 4 pieces, actually. And basically, you have to put the things together to actually do it. Love that. Look at that. Beautiful. So, it shows me pictures of the tiles and the other things. It features. I mean, this is the back in the day. This is important. These are important things. These are important features, right? Features. Caves, rooms, tunnels, passages, secret passages, doors, trapdoors, gold, food, drink, armor, weapons, wings, crosses, rings, diamonds, keys, and spells to be collected. There's also snakes, tables, gargoyles, skulls, shields, tiger rugs, lamps, long case clocks, don't say that fast, dressers, pictures, Pothole Pete himself, the wardrobe lifts, 7 levels, bonus lives, definable keyboards, throwing weapons, knights and executioners, dozens of monsters, and subterranean undergrowth. I mean, seriously, who's not going to want to play that? The Wizard's Lair. This one's published by Bubble Bus. Bubble Bus also published is it Moonlight Madness or Midnight Madness? Can't remember the name of it now. Moonlight something, I think it is. That was the follow-up to Booty, which is basically the same game but in a castle with a mad scientist who'd done something horrible to him. I don't know, can't remember. Anyway, either way, it wasn't particularly good. It wasn't particularly good. It was good. It's just different. It was. I don't think it was quite as. I think after Booty, I'd been spoiled with Booty. That was it. Booty I always find amazing though as well. If you load it with the current speech system plugged in, it shows the extra level that I can't remember his name. The guy made it. Kane, I think his last name, wasn't it? Mr. Kane. Anyway, he basically was going to build another level where you had to swim to the ship in the first place, so you could get on board, steal the booty, and they didn't really have time for that, so they didn't. He kind of partially finished, and I'm not sure why. Plugging in the current speech thing, it initiates that game, but that game appears about sort of swimming along. If you do that, it's a bit like X Out, which should all watch on the channel. Get at it, go on. You know you want to. After this, watch X Out because that's the remake of the original game. And I've got to admit, one thing I did love about the X Out that I purchased for the Switch. Yeah, well, Switch 2 has been released this week. We'll might discuss that briefly. Yeah, the X Out was sort of swimming along, and anyway, this version of this, Booty had that built in. Still, as I say, not sure why it happened. I'm loving the fact that the colours are going mental on the screen now. I'm pretty sure that's standard though. So yes, I've got to touch quickly on Dark Ages. Somebody mentioned the other day that yes, and it was a very good point. It was Jimbo actually. Jimbo made a very good point in the comments that the Xbox or the Xbox system basically allows indie game developers to sort of show off their game beforehand. Yeah, kind of get it, but they're still financially just available as viable. I guess if you've got an Xbox, it's the way you see it on your Xbox. If you've got a PC, you're more than likely in the Steam or the GOG or the Epic environment anyway, so you'd be advertised those games anyway, and you might pick them up when they're cheap. To be fair, I've noticed recently there's a few indie titles where they've given them away free to begin with, and then charged later if you wanted to actually buy it. So they gave it away, and then once it got a bit of popularity because it'd been given away free, they then charged later. But I kind of get the idea that you pay. But then somebody also pointed out, the lovely Andre pointed out that he pays £11 a month for his Game Pass, and that just makes Dark Ages even more of a critical failure, because I thought it was more like £30 that you paid per month, and it isn't. Apparently, it's only £11, and you get that included. And that means that it's going to take years for Game Pass to have covered the critical losses that you've made I don't know how you work that way. You're running with less money. It doesn't really make sense to me. It's not financially viable, but maybe the millions they're sitting in the bank is the question, is the answer to the question. Right, anyway, drink my coffee. Oh, I will become Pothole Pete. We'll abandon all hope who you enter here. No. Get a little intro music. There's Pothole Pete, and I've got my pickaxe. Right, I'll go through the door. Something to collect. There's a cross. There's a coin. That looks like a hidden. Oh, it is. I was right. Look, it was a hidden. What's it called? There is a. Oh, magic transport too. Not a recognised level. Oh my god. I didn't even know that was a thing. So there you go. I found my first hidden wall. I've got to look out for those. Tiger rug. This also looks like a hidden one. It isn't. I thought it was. I've run out of pickaxes because I'm an idiot. I kept firing them. I've totally run out of pickaxes. There we go. Look at this for quality, though. Look at the quality of this. Speed, looks, something there. Don't know what that was. No parts of the key yet. Oh no, it's key to go through the door. I've run out of keys for doors now. This is not going to go well, people. I've run out of keys for doors. I've got pickaxes again. Yes. No, I've died. More pickaxes. Alright, there's a crown. Let's get the crown. I'm not doing well. Pothole Pete is getting murdered here. There's that's a locked one. So I'd use a key for that one up above. So that, yeah, I can't get through that now because it's a locked door. Right. Definitely to map this. I'm not seeing any, the old typical sort of, there we go, through we go. That door. Uh-oh, we're dead. It's all over. Got through 9% of the layers though, but I found no parts of the golden lion that's required to escape. And in 2.5 minutes, that's how long it took me, I collected 17 objects. Do you know what though? It's such a great game. It really is. Honestly, that yeah, it's one of those ones that you need to get. You probably, I don't know if the map works though, because I don't know whether or not the parts of the line are random. What people used to do with the Attic Attack back in the day, and this is true, they used to do with Attic Attack back in the day, is that when you played the first time round, the parts were always in the same place. So your runs or your speed runs would take place very much on the very first runs. If I press Q to quit, what does it do? You sure you want to quit? Don't say you weren't warned. Yay! Restarts. Don't even have to do anything. That was cool. Quite like that. I don't think I've ever done that before. Oh, I'll fast forward a bit now. See if we can get to the next one. Technical Ted. The first one, of course, being Costa's. The second one being, the Costa's Capers, which we played. Was that last week or the week before? Week before, which was absolutely Well, everybody suggested I rage quit on that one because, let's be honest, it was blooming difficult. This one's also difficult because you have to read the manual to know what Ted's meant to do to begin with, which is pretty harsh, really. So Ted's got a list of things he's got to do when he gets to work because he's a technician. He does, I don't know what he does. Maybe he works in a brewery and adjusts the taps for the beverages. But Technical Ted has to do a very specific tasks in very specific orders. This could be it. Chip fact. This is not Technical Ted. Oh, it is. Oh, chip fact. All right, okay. It is Technical Ted. I apologise mightily. Oh, and this is right. They start running across, don't they? All the little Teds. I quite like the loading screen for this one. Little countdown at the bottom, T- time. Anyway, but Technical Ted, he's got very specific things he has to do. Now, if you got this as a special version back in the day, you wouldn't have known what Technical Ted was meant to do. Again, this is a trip down to W.H. Smith's and loiter in the magazine aisle for a while. Back in the days when... No, I'm only kidding. Back in the days when W.H. Smith's had a top shelf. Doesn't exist anymore. They don't do a top shelf anymore in W.H. Smith's. I don't think they do it in anywhere, actually. No, they do it at service stations, don't they? But now it's all plasticated and wrapped up, so that you don't see semi-clad ladies. You just look on the internet for those. But the point being that you'd go down to W.H. Smith's and you'd probably spend a little bit too much time in there. Well, the staff looked at you. But you weren't the only ones. The places were full with kids back in the day. There's loads of kids. They were in the game sections and they were all over the stuff. And then they were out with their BMXs in the street and skateboards and all the other bits and pieces went with it. I don't think they do that nowadays. They just Google it, don't they? They stick it in the old search engine, find the answer. Oh, yes, that's the answer to Technical Ted. I almost feel obliged nowadays to go old school with this and draw it myself. I see that there's a new Mr. Hare game by Lee Chop Stevenson. There's a new one coming out from Northern Games. So I've obviously put my name down for a copy of it, but I've noticed that it comes with a map of what the levels are going to look like. That's actually quite nice. I quite like the idea of that. You feel like back in the day they should have done that for some of the games. I'm sure there are a few that are out there, but you feel like that maybe they should have come with a map by default. But almost that was the need for having your magazines as well, your computer magazines. Computer magazines were there to show those maps, or you were there to do it. I mean, it was such a more interactive experience. But you basically weren't just playing the game. You had to commit to sort of drawing the maps for the game and drawing the levels and things like that, getting your grid paper out or whatever else it was, or drawing it by hand. You had to commit to that kind of, involvement with the game. There was more to it. So as much as these games are small and tiny and probably not as complex as a Elden Ring or a Doom Dark Ages, there's a little bit more commitment involved in this. It's not just a game you play and then throw away. It's a game, once you were into it, it was a game that you mapped and drew, and you might wrote tips down on how you would get that first item or do something like that. I mean, I don't know about you, but I submitted many a tip to magazines. I only got 2 published, and I won a couple of competitions. One for where I won a copy of the Mask game. I was delighted with that. That was brilliant. I also won. I think this was a Mega Drive competition. I'm pretty convinced it was. I won a accolade, and the people who did the cartridges for the Mega Drive were called Ballistic. So I won a Ballistic Hypercolor T-shirt. So, well, actually, it wasn't Hypercolor. The whole T-shirt was black, but the central section where it said Ballistic was actually Hypercolor. It was so the heat, when your body heat would change it. So. Do 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 do. Yeah, micro user devices. That's what he makes. Mud Limited. That's short net. Yeah. Anyway, But yeah, we used to write these things down. We used to put them in, and it was great. So what we got? Q, OP, bomb, rotor, jump, tune off, H, pause. Right, okay. So yeah, this is mud limited. Mud on the screen there. Look like that. No, it's blooming harsh, this game. No, can't make that. I thought might be able to. I'm going to rage quit this one as well. I can tell you why. Here's why this is going to get rage quit. Because... Right, so I've got to get to my office, I think. Right, plant, growing. The graphics are brill. Little animation on the character is excellent as well. Right, photocopier. No. Yep. So you got to turn things on and off, but the right things on and off. So there's no point in doing what I'm doing here. I've got to go somewhere else. I've got to start at my desk or something like that. So let's see if we can find my desk, wherever that is. This just sound... This is going to drive me nuts. Oh, God. Here we go, peoples. I've got here before. I know I have. In previous games. Oh, sugar. Right, we're going to go the other way. We're going to go the other way, because I'm going to struggle to get past that. Ready for rage quits, people. Ready for the rage quit. A man with the big ears there going up and down the side. Okay, so they kill you. Chairs don't. Sugar. Oh my God. Everything kills me. I've turned that off. Oh my God, I'm on the... Here we go here. No! And it's back on. Turn the projector off. I gotta turn the other one off in the boardroom. Sugar! Yeah, it's rage-inducing, this one. But you got your money's worth. It might be induce serious rage and possible mental health issues in later life, but it definitely, your money's worth. Sugar. I'm gonna try and go this way again. I'm done. We're gonna go the other way. Here we go. Rage-inducing. I mean, I'm almost foaming at the mouth already. Sugar. Technical Ted. Technically anger-inducing. I'm running out of lives here. You see the time? God. There's like a pink line that seems to be my lives. I am seriously running out of lives here. This is not going well. Sugar. I nearly made it. No. I just need to... No! This is not going well, people. But you always knew a game was hard, right, if you started with a lot of lives. The one that always comes to mind for me is Spiky Harold. Spiky Harold starts you with 17 lives. What game in its right mind starts you with 17 lives other than Spiky Harold? This one started us with probably as many lives. And we've just been booted out. I love the way he does that. He throws you in the bin with his huge Hulk-like belly. Do 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 do. GPO there on the screen. General Post Office. The old General Post Office. That's quite. I have a strange soft spot for Technical Ted. It might be, rage-inducing, but I kind of have a special place in my heart for it because I just feel there was a lot of effort put into the game, and it was very. I also feel to some extent there was playtesting that went on with that game. Somebody playtested that. I feel they did, only because the levels don't seem impossible, but they are hard. This is probably why I've never finished Manic Miner, because I feel that is also pretty, rage-inducing in the sense of of doing the levels, but at the same time, I think it's possible. Well, definitely possible. Other people have finished it. I've seen them do it. That's right. I'm looking for somewhere to put the blooming Wizard's Lair. I didn't want it lying there, but it's just going to have to lie there. It's fine. Right. K. Jeffrey. Kevin. I'm going to go Kev Jeffrey. Big Kev. So, Mutant Monty, Arctic game. Can't remember the ins and outs of the story, but basically I think he's collecting gold, and that kind of goes with what's on the screen there. So I'm not sure why he's a mutant though. Maybe he looks like a human, but not a human. Don't know. Maybe he's a little grey alien. No idea. Kind of like that one though, the Alien Next Door that was on Netflix. Was it Next Door Alien or something like that? Had the guy who played K2SO in and also he played in Firefly. He was the pilot in Firefly. Can't remember his name now, the actor, but he was in it. He was the alien. It was kind of good. I quite liked that one. However, I can't help feeling they ended it because there was a whole sort of "Have you seen Aliens" thing with the crew and all this kind of stuff. It was almost a tribute to everybody who'd been working on it, which always strikes me as this ain't going to continue if you're doing some kind of weird tribute to the staff that are on the whole thing. It's a shame because it was a comic book in the first place, and often comic books are very, very good, but it depends how you adapt them. I think comic books are better than the films for the most part. If you're a comic book reader, and I have been for many, many years, back to sort of my teenage years, the medium is very much book writing. If you're a comic book writer, you're almost writing the panels as well as the actual story itself. So you're not just writing the dialogue; you're writing the whole story that goes, with the story that goes with those panels. It's quite amazing, realistically, as the amount of sort of detail that comic book writers go into. It really is. This is going to be a long episode, I hope you're braced and settled because we're only up to Mutant Monty and we're already up to 40 minutes. So this is going to be quite a long one. Carl. Is it Carl? Carl with a K. Carl Jeffrey. Right, okay. Number 1. Help. Right. What's up and down? Do 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 do. Sugar. That's not what I want to do. Right. Yeah, I think he consistently keeps running though. This is the problem. Yeah, he's a big running man. He runs very, very fast, but up and down is rubbish. Up and down's really slow, but left and right is really super quick. So you get Mutant Monty going hell for leather when he gets down, but it's getting down there's the problem. So getting down is so slow. Oh, it doesn't go that far. Sugar, come on, Mutant Monty. I don't know how he managed to get the up to be so slow, but the down to be, the The run to be... Whoa, 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 whoa. To be so quick. Sugar. That is so maddening. That part is so maddening. And he just accelerates to a velocity as well. It's not like he doesn't just go slow. He like accelerates like a madman. Like that. An absolute madman. I love the death thing. Is always like some kind of help. Yeah, I know, I've got you. Right. I don't know if I want to be under here, actually. I really don't. No, and I went up too soon there. I didn't realise he had such a big hitbox as such. Okay. Ah! Oh no! No, 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 no! Oh, come on, go through there. Right. Oh, got it, got it, got it. Oh, damn you! Well, it's not so bad, actually. We can get this. 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 I like this one. You can probably tell. Yes! We've done it! Excellent. We got out. Right. That's actually the easiest part, funnily enough. Because the speed he runs, he just goes flying through at top speed. I quite like it, though. Ooh. It's the up that's the problem here. Up's the problem. Damn you. Oh, well, that was quite cool, actually. I quite enjoyed that one. No rage quitting. I'm just going to go on to the next one. Oh, that was really good. I like that one. Snooker. This is the very basic snooker. I think this is the Vision snooker. I've definitely got these Bo Jolly 10 collections. I liked the Bo Jolly stuff back in the day. I don't know who they were the original. I assume they were just Bo Jolly, but I always liked their stuff. I thought it was quite good. Yeah, Vision snooker. This will be quite a quick load. It's not bad. It's one of the first snooker games I've played. And again, I say this every time. Back in the day, of course, the screen was sort of slightly convex, isn't it? Or concave. Convex, where it sticks out a sort of slight curve outwards because of the way that the photons were fired at the screen. So the resulting effect, and actually, to be fair, that would have balanced out the refresh rate because of the fact that it would have been the way it fired. It was all the same distance away from the electron shooting thingy, whatever that was, cathode ray, I guess. So it kind of made sense. There you go. I told you it was loaded about 3 seconds later. And this was one of those sort of games where it kind of, because of the bend on the screen, you couldn't really get it right. Or certainly that was the excuse I was given back in the day for why you couldn't get it right. Okay, so those. And then you want to, I think we point at these like this. We give it some welly. And we've hit the wrong thing and we fouled. And then it's player two's turn. And we get some balls that move around. And it's very unexciting in that sense. 4 points taken away. Yeah, I don't know anything really about snooker. Push. And board game, no. 3. Foul pass, no. 1. Select colour to pot. Oh, right, okay. I didn't even know you could do that. I've just noticed that message at the top of the screen. Anyway, let's move on. Because it's snooker. I've never really been one for snooker. Apparently the Chinese love it. It's a big big thing in the China, or certainly become a really big thing. Didn't the Chinese chap from China actually win that recently? I think he did, didn't he? He won the sort of the big one in the UK. It's a sport that some people love. I like pool, for instance. I also liked Team 17's arcade pool. Thought that was brilliant. I don't know about you, but on the Amiga, that was just sublime. I know it's on the A500 Mini. It's on that, so it's and I do think it's quite good. I think it's one of my favourite sort of Team 17 things. I quite like Team 17. I think I quite like the fact that they still exist and they're still making money and they're still doing computer games and they're still doing their own thing, and they haven't fallen into some horrible corporate trap of trying to trick people into buying things and whatever else. That was another comment I'm going to make on the when I was talking to Jimbo in the messages. You can have a look at the messages. Out of interest, I watched Microsoft talking to indie developers about computer games. Now, I don't think that Microsoft has any real. They had success with the 360. I don't think they had success with anything else after that. I think they were drunk on success from that one machine. The original Xbox, although a phenomenal system, didn't have the success that Sony's had as a games console maker, or even Nintendo in that fact. But they were given a presentation, or recently a keynote, on to indie developers. And one of the key things for me, and I hate to say it, was one of the keynote parts in the speech from Microsoft just tells you what kind of company they are and how they think things should be run. And it tells me a lot about... It's not about selling a good game. It's about convincing people to part with more money. One of the key words was monetization strategy. Or keywords were monetization strategy. For indie developers, who for the most part their labours love, for the most part they've been the Team 17s of the world, SCS Softwares, who has a monetization software that I wouldn't call predatory in any way. I'll argue it's the end of the earth, because their monetization strategies are completely understandable and free, and not free, but understandable and correct in the right format. Back in the 80s and 90s, even, there was monetization strategies. Take Laser Squad by Julian Gallup and Blade. Laser Squad had add-ons that you could purchase for extra money. They were extra maps for extra strategic games. You did the same with Lords of Chaos. You paid £10 and you got basically your money's back, or something similar in postal orders. You got your money's back in additional content. Hellfire Edition to Diablo, the first Diablo game, where it added the monk and a whole bunch of expansions and extended the game way beyond the original scope of the game. That was worth your money. I mean, I've got that to this day. Even when Microsoft owned Ensemble, the Ensemble group, or certainly published them, these are the people who made Age of Empires, those add-ons were extremely reasonable. They were good add-ons to the games, the ones that they did. There was a couple of them, I can't remember what they were called off the top of my head, but they did. So when they owned Ensemble, they seemed pretty reasonable. I just think I just have a real issue with, and when people say to me it's just cosmetics, when cosmetics back in the day, we unlocked those. We played Dead or Alive until we could unlock all of the clothing for Kasumi, right down to the swimming cozies and all that kind of stuff, and unlock the additional bounce menu option. That's how you used to play games, and that's how you should still play games. I think Nintendo still follows that suit with its games. Doesn't mean you can't sell me another add-on for Dead or Alive that adds content, but don't take it out in the first place. Yeah, no, I'm yeah. It's never going to happen. I know it, and I know people, and somebody will pay for it along the way. It's always been the case.
If you're going to do that, though, give your game away first, free in the first place, and then just sell the add-ons. That's the answer to it, but don't make it pay to win, because that, there are games out there that are free to play that give away, don't give away stuff, but you can purchase things from, but they don't affect the way the game plays. And those that's the method. If you wish to do that, that's the method to do that. Good old FOMO, isn't it? Fear of missing out, and that's what they do with a lot of those. Though they did do seasons for that, but I don't think that really matters. Maybe I'm just too old for that kind of stuff now. Anyway, K for keyboard, please. This is one of the most glorious looking games. It's a sort of isometric, which we all hate, but at the same time, it's beautiful, delicious looking game. We're going to do... we'll do the instructions, because the instructions are cool on this. So we got militoids. They've got the Maze of Death, Paradox Zone, and the Flatland, so we basically have to kill them. That's us. That's a militoid there. Got to shoot it in the head 3 times to kill it. Got to avoid the hover ones. One of them destroys the bouncers you can't destroy. We've got transport capsules and mines. Hit status is on the screen. I like the way it's marked up. It's really good, actually, because this is one of these games where if you had a special version of it, you could easily work out what you got to do. And you got to kill 5 militoids per map, and there's like a little radar at the bottom. It's kind of cool. Yeah. Android 2 sustained 5 heavy attacks, and it will die, basically. So, let's play. Start the game. Prepare for combat. We're entering the combat zone. So, I love this. I think it looks great. The graphics are good on this one, in my mind. There's a militoid there. Can we get to it? Is he coming my way? Sort of. Shit. Oh! Oh, he's gone! He's escaped! The horrible... Oh, the militoid has escaped. I never even got to this. I've never ever actually got to the next stage of it. I'm shooting at it. Let's hope its head pops around this way. There's one shot. Uh-oh. Got it! I killed a militoid! I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh, I'm singing again. I sound like Aled Jones before I got touched by a snowman. He was walking in the air. Walking in the air. I'll teach me. It's good, isn't it? It's a really good game. I really like that one. Do you know what I love most about this game? It's not just the game itself. The cover is just the most 1920s Art Deco. It could have been a sort of stainless. Stained glass window of a thing. It's just it's delicious. It's fantastic. It's really good. It's one of my faves. I love the cover on this. And then I got Android 1 as well, which is completely different to Android 2, but it's just fantastic. I really love it. Right, okay. On the Run. This is a game. This is a cool game. I like this one. I've played this one before. On the Run. We've had some games this episode. Last episode, we've gone from like 5 minutes of actual real gameplay with Sigma 7 to actually playing some games. It's amazing, isn't it? We've actually played some games. Can you remember some of these? Did you have any of these? I had absolutely physically owned, this is back in the day, physically owned none of the games on this tape. So from Codename Matt didn't own it, Wizard's Lair didn't own it, Technical Ted didn't own it, Mutant Monty didn't own it, Snooker didn't own it, played it at somebody else's house. Android 2, didn't own it. On the Run, didn't own it. Covenant, didn't own it. Always thought it looked amazing on the Amstrad CPC. I saw it first on the Amstrad CPC. I was like, yes, this is amazing. And I don't know why I thought it was amazing. Super Pipeline 2, never owned it. And Circus of Adventure, didn't own it. In fact, on the first side, didn't own Sigma 7, didn't own Game Over, didn't own Icon Graphics, and didn't own Garfield. However, I did own the Pink Panther. No, I think I discussed that last time round. It was, honestly, it was weird time. You know, I mean, I probably had I don't know how many games I would have in my collection, but there would be a lot of games that I revisited. Probably quite a lot though I had on special tapes. But the point was, I had a very much a more limited sort of number of games. I mean, nowadays I play lots and lots of games, especially on Steam. But I have this theory on games. With the exception of probably what I collect for the specky, because I tend to collect it for the cover than rather than anything else. For the exception of the specky, I really do play every game that I purchase, from Steam to the Switch to the Evercade to I've put them all on. And I've played them for at least a few minutes, and I know that's dreadful, realistically, the timing. But I really do try and make an effort. I don't know about everybody else does, but I really do. I think it's really important to make that effort. I love the way that, by the way, this On the Run reminds me of Logan's Run, the film. Love the cover for that. It's sort of that white sort of surround with those 70s sort of neons and reds, and then Logan sort of running through the centre of it. He's posing with a gun, isn't he? It's amazing. It's great. That's a great movie as well. But it doesn't need the end. It's one of those movies that doesn't need the sad, sappy end at all. You could cut that out and it would be absolutely fine. Apparently they're remaking it, aren't they? Logan's Run. It'll run into loads and loads of trouble. They won't be able to remake it properly. To be fair, to Warner Brothers, they did remake Dune, but not Dune as in the movie, Dune as in the book, extremely well. I do like that. It's a lot of sand in it. There's a lot of drawn out stuff, but it looks really good. I'm really hoping, my fingers are very much crossed, that we get the rest of the James Herbert books. I do hope we do get those. I heard a story the other day. This is an interesting one. I quite like a bit of Kurt Russell. He's a bit of I don't know why. It's like everything else. I think when you got Kurt Russell in the movie, you know everything's going to be all right, and Snake Plissken and all that kind of stuff from Escape from New York. But he starred in a movie called Soldier back in 1998, I think it is. It's seen as an absolute, people hate it. It's not very well loved at all. I like it. I think it's a cult classic, right? But I didn't realise that the writer of that particular movie literally quit writing. And I was told this the other day because I was showing it to a friend, and he watched the film as well, and he was like, it's really good, this. And he went and did a little bit of research. But the guy who wrote the movie, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he wrote that movie. He quit. I think he was responsible for the film adaptation of Blade Runner, right? Which explains in the next bit. The whole Soldier movie was meant to be set within the Blade Runner universe and was designed and written as such. And then they shredded it into the movie that you get, which, by the way, is okay. But can you imagine? I don't know, if you've not seen it, I recommend you go look for a bit of cheese, because it's cheese. Look for the cheesy movie that is Soldier. I can't believe that this movie could have been in the Blade Runner universe and built to such an extent as the original Blade Runner movie in 1998. Can you imagine if they'd actually done it properly? But he literally stopped writing because he got so upset with people perverting his... I think this has crashed. Yeah, I think this has crashed. It's crashed, look. Because it's loading something else now. It's loading the Covenant, I think. I might be wrong. Come on. Yeah, that's crashed. That hasn't loaded, peoples. I'm just going to rewind this bit. Yeah. I'm a bit disappointed that didn't load. Let's pop that out because I don't want to move to the Covenant yet without doing On the Run, because it's actually quite good on the run. It looks good anyway. I certainly think so. Design. Who made this one? But yeah, I could imagine that. I would have loved that because I like it. I think it's quite a good story. I mean, a quick précis. It's sort of training soldiers from childhood to sort of, and a little bit of war action kind of thing. And it's kind of it's going to be all right because our friend Kurt's in there. But yeah, I have to admit it's one of my sort of faves. Design. There we go. Design. I've got this. I've got a whole bunch of design and crystal ones. They have a very similar sort of style as well. They have a bit like the Logan Run thing. They have that white border around it, an image in the centre that's sort of popping through the white border itself, as if they're sat in some kind of picture frame with a border around it, and then the either crystal or design at the bottom of it. I really quite like them. I think they're pretty. And I think back in the day, this is what sold us on these things. It was often how beautiful the artwork was. The better your artist, the more likely your game, I guess, was to sell. This goes back to the original, the fact that Thor Software, which existed briefly, they did things like Jack and the Beanstalk, and I think the number 2 of that as well. Actually, they spent more on the artists who were doing the packaging than the actual products they were buying. They bought those from homebrew people in their sort of garages and their bedrooms and all this kind of stuff. I love the fact that the AAA gaming thing for the most part was just kids in their bedrooms back in the day. It's flipping brilliant, isn't it? It really is. It's a shame that many have become, I guess, old and cynical within it. I just think they all got rich and then just retired. Do you think that's what it was? They all got very rich and then flogged the whole idea for the most part, with a few exceptions of a number from the 90s that still exist. And then bizarre things like Jarell, who still exist but don't do that. They do accountancy software. That kind of stuff. Weird things like that happened. I kind of... It's kind of weird, isn't it, to think that that's the way the world kind of went. Some great graphics for these games, though. All these loading screens. There's some really good ones. You can see the action there. He's running away with his gun in his hand, sort of making his way away from the whatever's happening there. The wild mushroom. Not sure that's what it is. Right, I'm going to finish off the coffee. I know it's been an hour, but and it's nice and cool now, with not quite the skin on it that I like. So we're okay. Don't really need these beverages now. I find myself full of energy, as I was saying last week. My energy levels have returned to sort of better than they've been for many, many years, and my energy levels are much better, which is right annoying for everybody around me, because I get up now early in the morning and go to bed late at night, and to wake up sort of fully energized, ready to tackle the world, pre-programmed for trouble. Well, why not? And there's nothing wrong with a bit of trouble in life. I can't believe we've done 6 games already. We've actually had some loading as well from the tape. It's even more impressive, to be honest with you. Codename Matt, Wizard's Lair, Technical Ted, Mutant Monty, Snooker, Android 2, now on the run. We've got the Covenant, we've got Pipeline 2, and we've got Circus of Adventure, which I've not played. Circus of Adventure. I think I bought a copy of this recently. I'm very bad with sorting. I know lots of people who are collectors tend to keep lists of what they've got and what they need and all this kind of stuff. I just try and do it by memory, which will be a lot better now. So I'm assuming I've got 200 copies of Sigma 7 just lying around somewhere. But the point is that I now have there's a good chance that I'll remember what I actually need from the whole thing. So it's quite nice, realistically. I'm kind of getting the problem I've got now is with obviously with the Switch 2 coming along, and I'm still not convinced. My colleague at work brought it in for me to see, and he really did. He literally was like, I brought it in, here you go, literally the day after it had sort of appeared. Which is fine. I've got no complaints about that, to be honest with you. I mean, it's just like kind of cool to see. But he brought it in, and I'll be honest. I looked at it and I felt it. And I took the controllers off, and I was like, so it's just a bigger version of the Switch 1. That because that's what it is. A bigger version with slightly better graphics. And a mouse on each of the controllers and a chat button, because all the rest of the features are exactly the same as the original Switch. I mean, exactly the same button-wise on the Switch. They haven't changed anything. It feels like the upgrade from the DS to the 3DS. I think that's what it feels like for me, or to the variations of the DS. You know, the Lite to the whatever else is. In this case, it's the DS to the 3DS, and that's what it feels like. So I'm gonna be honest. I'm going to change my keys here. I'm going to get to fire, space, thrust, center screen, M for bomb. That'll work for me. Right, so, yeah, 4. What I've got to do? If it moves, shoot. If it doesn't, see what happens if you can pick it up. Quick game, 2 simultaneously, space to continue. Right, play game. That's us with our little thing here. I like the graphics on this one. I'm not sure that's a gameplay though. If it moves, shoot it. Then we're getting those. He's kind of cool. Collect it. I think that's all you meant to do. Ah, look, there's bottles at the top we're meant to be collecting. There's like a bottle thing. You see the bottles on the top? That's clearly what we're meant to be collecting. This. Got one. Hey, need a map for it. I'll go up this way. Thrust. That's my health. Ah! So that's what we're doing, thrusting to get stuff like that. It's a shame his legs don't run. After the picture of him running at the beginning, from John, he's not running. Yeah, he doesn't run at all. He just slides across the surface, which is fine. Yeah, it's alright. If I'd got it back in the day, I'd probably been well into it. I would definitely map it, that's for damn sure. So while I'm playing through this, anyway, so he brought in the 0 cents the screen, right? Okay, and I've got a bomb now. That's cool. So yeah, he brought it in for me to see. As I say, I feel like it's the upgrade on it's like the DS to the 3DS. I think that's the upgrade I feel, just so the games don't work on it. You know, and you know, apparently compatibility is better than I thought it was going to be, which is fine. You know, that I suppose Nintendo being a bit overcautious and saying that percentage won't work, it is a fair thing to do. There seems to be a way to trade and join games now with it, which is also fair. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Will it tempt me? I need to see how many games are key coded now. I think I'm slight changing tack, but it depends how many key coded. I noticed that he had Mario's the karting game, which you can get free with it if you not free, but included in a bundle. But you decide that you get them separately, and that is not a key code. That is a game on a actual cartridge. So there may be hope for it. But as I say, it just what it does is it makes me wonder what I'm collecting and what I'm not collecting. I do love the graphics on this, by the way. It's so brightly coloured. It's really cool. You know, whether or not I am collecting, still going to collect for I'm definitely going to collect for the Switch, but But whether I collect for the Switch 2 or get a Switch 2, that's still up in the air. I think I might just hang on, wait for some kind of Christmas deal or something similar, see what happens if I do decide to do it. But it does sort of leave a hole for me. I do love collecting things. I think that's the problem. I do like collecting shit. Without being rude, yeah, I do like to collect a load of rubbish. So I'm gonna go this way, see what is down here. Dropping like a stone. Oh, there's nothing to be found. On the run. Screens bouncing everywhere. It's alright though, isn't it? It's not bad. I think we'll move on though. We'll move on to the Covenant. The Covenant. I don't know why. Do you know when there's certain games in life when you look at them and you're like, yeah, I like that. There was a one called Dexter on the on the Amstrad CPC. I was always very and it was an isometric and it was sort of a puzzle game as well. I'll accept this, but I always kind of found it quite. It was visually impressive. Now I've only ever seen it on green screen Amstrad CPC, and even on there, it seemed a very interesting and sort of visually stunning thing. I can't believe that they made a green screen flipping Amstrad CPC. I really can't. I can't believe. I know it was £100 cheaper because I think it was £399. I think for the one with the colour screen. I think it was £299 for the one with the green screen. I think that's the pricing back in the day. And that was a lot of money, that, by the way, because, I mean, the Spectrum was selling for 120 quid. But at the same time, Spectrum was selling for 120 quid with the caveat you still had to buy a blooming tape deck with it for another 15 or 20 pounds. So it wasn't entirely that cheap. But the point is, and then you had to put it on telly. So whether you didn't have a telly to put it on, not that that was the case, but most people had a telly. But you know, there was many a household where one television was the max. That's all you ever had. But the point being that you know, they came with everything you needed on the Amstrad CPC. I mean, at that kind of price as well, you know, by 1989, you had the Commodore Amiga appearing and the Atari ST, which were around about that kind of price themselves, and that was a leap and a half. It was like I was a million miles from your 8-bit Spectrums and other things. I mean, it was completely new class of game. It really was. It was just unreal. Moved into a whole new sort of thing. To be fair, for me, when I moved to the Commodore Amiga, it was a life-changing change in the whole thing. And do you know what though? I'll tell you about the PC though. So in the 80s, 1989 as well. Actually, funny enough, that was when the first sort of home computer was purchased for our house. It was for work as well. And it had sort of 4 megabytes of RAM because it was required, and there was quite a lot of memory there back in the day. But it didn't. I mean, for instance, it had no sound. But the sound was not a thing. You had a beeper inside. You know, you had a little speaker on the inside. And graphics were not a thing either necessarily. You'd be lucky if you had enough chip power to do Super VGA, as it was called back in the day, or VGA. That was the max that you kind of had to do with it. They were not super powerful machines. The Commodore Amiga actually looked in practice a much more able machine. If you took your humble IBM PC clone, if you put them side by side, there it is with its MS-DOS, and there's the Amiga, or even the Atari ST with its automatically booted ROM TOS system. So it was for loading discs and hard drives. The Amiga with its boot into your Kickstart. Later it had its own. Some came with hard drives. So you kickstart onto that, and you had a much more able-bodied device. It was, and it was a graphic user interface, and it had sound. Plus, it had the ability to manipulate 2D graphics. The IBM PC, of course, was designed primarily as a business machine and didn't really do these things. The graphics started from text, because there was text modes. From text modes to CGA, and which was the color graphics array, to EGA, which is the enhanced graphics array, which was sort of 16 colors in total in the palette, and I think it was on screen as well. And then you went VGA, which was the next level up. MCGA, which is what a lot of games were like. So the first time I played Wolfenstein 3D, that was in MCGA, which was 256 colours on screen, quite a low resolution. It was 320 by 240, and that was the resolution. And that's a really low resolution. If you open up, Paint or something similar, and put that resolution in pixels, it'll be minuscule on your screens now, because you'll all be, on sort of at least 1080p, if not more, 2K or 4K monitors. Those are definitely a thing, So we've got our keys here. Yep. What are we playing? Covenant. Right. Okay. So let's give this a go. Let's give it a play. I've got M as the key. So, fire thrust. Okay. Has to start the quest. So, we start in this sort of weird spaceship. I'm not sure what the quest was, realistically. And you press M and you can get out. And you're this dude here. And I've picked someone up there. Whoa! No! He's got the jump of a king. So we can get back in our spacey shippy thing. So he has to get out to pick stuff up, you see. That's the main thing. I just remember thinking it was kind of cool that I think you had this sort of egg-shaped spaceship that you could fly around in and then land and do stuffs. And then, I think maybe I'm a bit odd, maybe, but that was my thing about this. Was I'm not as sure what the game's about. We're in trouble here. I think my health's really low. Do I have to pick this thing up? Yes. Holding some flowers, some kind of weird key. Right, okay. And I died. Right, I'm trying again. So I just thought it was really cool back in the day. I'll be honest. It struck me as an amazing game. With its inimitable sort of getting in and out of your spaceship, and flying around kind of thing. I'm not going to be able to get out there. I'm going to go this way. Oh, I've pressed this. Push up. I can see what I've got. I don't know what that means. I don't know how I've managed to get it on screen. I press space. That's how. When you pause it, it puts the thing on the screen. Right, so we need to get these things. Don't kill me. I'm dead. Yeah, it just seems a really cool game. I don't know why. It always grabbed me as being sort of super cool. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move to the next one. Let's do that. Let's press the play button and let's do Super Pipeline 2. I really like that. Anyway, yeah, I played the new Mario game on the new Switch, and it just felt like playing the old Mario game on the old Switch. I mean, and he was waxing lyrical about the fact that he put it on a 4K telly, and it was upscaled to 4K. It's something we've been able to do for a long time with a lot of technologies anyway, and I don't have a 4K telly. I do actually have to, but only because that's you can buy them as cheaply as almost, HD tellies. But I mean, I've got a 4K telly. Would I be bothered particularly? No, because I'm watching this in 720p. It's not gonna. It's not. It doesn't matter to me particularly the level of a level of graphics, and in that sense, I think we're past that now. This is just a personal thought on this. I think we're past graphical. When we look at stuff, I don't look at them and go, "Ooh, the graphics are fantastic on that now." I look at them and go, "Is it going to play all right? Is it going to be a fun game to play?" There's a lot of games I've played recently where the graphics are cartoonesque and arty like that, and I'm playing these games and I'm thinking to myself, "Yeah, I'm enjoying these a lot. I'm enjoying these cartoon graphics. I'm enjoying these cel shaded graphics." I remember when they made back in a long time ago. I mean, the original Borderlands came out, and I remember that the team over there at Gearhead decided to make a choice on the graphics. The original Borderlands game, I don't think would have sold as well if they'd gone with the original graphics. The original graphics were to be as realistic as possible. They were normal, standard, everyday graphics that you'd seen in every other game. And then somebody in the art department went, let's do some cel-shaded style 3-dimensional graphics that are different than the norm. And guess what? It worked for them. It worked so much better than going with the standard graphics. I think people get hung up on that. I mean, the sound effects have got to the point now that nobody knows the difference between the sound effects. They're so good that they're all good. It's just now who's paying for the most expensive composer at this point, or in fact, in this case, though, who's pumping it into AI and then telling it to produce the same as that composer. But we'll not go there. But the point is that we've now got to the point where the composers or the art department. It's really down to that, and those changes can make a big difference to the way that a game looks and feels. But it just comes down to gameplay. Some of those big games nowadays, I mean, Minecraft, for God's sake, really, Minecraft is a game with blocky graphics, and you can get, RTX, the ray tracing stuff put onto it. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't change necessarily your experience in Minecraft. It's still blooming Minecraft. The games that are doing well, some have got a comic book art style. I've played games recently with a pixelated feel, with modern interfaces, like the Nine Kings that I played on my channel, or the Tower Dominion that I played on my channel. There are so many games here that have got different aesthetics, and it doesn't matter to the gameplay. When people now show me games and they go, "Ooh, look at that! It's photorealistic," I'm unimpressed, and genuinely unimpressed. I think we've loaded. Yes, we have. This game is a weird one. I think I've played it on the. I think I've played it. I'm gonna go with 5 for instructions. I think I've played it on the Commodore 64. I think it might have played on this as well. We've got to basically stop the leaky pipes. That's what we've got to do. What's the keyboard? 4. Keyboard. That'll do. I'm hoping it's the standard keys, but we'll see. That's left and right. Is that up and down? Yes, it is. So we've got a gun to stop the creatures that are coming along. I've got killed. So we've basically got to stop the creatures while the guys repair the leaks. So there's like those guys there repairing leaks while the water goes through. Do you see the water going through the pipes right now? There's a snail going along. Got to wait for the water to make it through the pipe. It's quite good, this one. Yeah, they're following me now. Oh, he's died. We've done it, I think. Or did I die? No. I think I died. Yeah, you got to fill the barrel at the bottom. It's a timer job, basically. Oh, sugar. Come down here and repair this pipe. Hey, it's repairing the pipe. Stop the water coming out. I've been killed by the stupid snail. Oh, I can't go to write my name. Oh, it did start writing my name in. I pushed the buttons. I didn't even notice. Right, we'll have another go, because that's pretty good. I like that. We've got to do at least one level. It's cool. Oh, plumbing heck, I ran into the thing straight away. I'm going up and down. I love the way that the pipelines are managed by a man with a gun. I'm managed by a man with a gun who... I'm going to stand over here and shoot stuff here. Oh, sugar, I felt a spanner in the head. I can't believe this. I've got to be able to beat this. This has got to be beatable. Right, come on. Oh, he's drilled it. Right, come on, guys. Get this sorted. Come on. Sort that. He sorted it. What's he doing? Come on. I need you to come over here. Come on, mate. I could go across the pipeline like that. Oh, you buggers. They've bashed a hole in it there. Oh, he's dead. Where is he? Where's the other guy? I need the... Come here. I've been killed by the blooming slug. Well, you get the point anyway. Got to keep the pipeline safe. Blooming brilliant game. That we should all be playing. Because we should. And it's good. That's actually really cool anyway. Right, okay, let's move on. Last one on the list. Circus of Adventure. I think I have this. I think I purchased this recently. I think it's a pretty uncommon game from memory. And I don't think I've ever seen Super Pipeline 2. And if I ever see it, I'm all over that. I'm all over it. You're going to have to fight me to the death on eBay. Huh? Fight you to the death on eBay. Or post it on X. And Truth Social. Fight me on those. That's it. Fight me on those two things. No, on neither of them now. Move to Bluesky. Completely different. Full of indie devs that I like and all the stuff that is easier to you know. No bullshit. I like no bullshit. Thank you. Let's stick to nice things. All scientists are on there as well. It's very weird. It's quite good. Anyway, that's in the description below if you want to find out where that is. So yeah, definitely there. I think I've got this. I don't know why I think I've got this, but I pretty well... Mystery Adventures by Brian Howarth. The Circus Digital Fantasia. I always liked that on the Mega Drive, you know. A lot of people hated it. I liked it. I think I liked the music, and I think I liked the fact that they tried to do it, but it was extremely hard apparently. So lots of people didn't really like it, but yeah, the original sort of Mickey Mouse Fantasia thing. I tell you what, I did watch the other day. Come to think of this, while we're thinking about Mickey Mouse. See, this is how my brain's working now. You're gonna have to put up with all of this now that my brain's working properly. I'm actually going to have to look back at my videos to see where my brain was working more functionally. You know, however many years ago I started this. It's almost 10, isn't it? But anyway, so I watched Screamboat Willie, which is was financed by the people who did The Terrifier. And it's a horror movie, obviously. But it's actually extremely high budget for a horror movie, and it's actually very good. Just a strange film. It really is. I quite like it. It's quite a good one. because obviously Mickey Mouse is no longer licensed, or Steamboat Willie is no longer copyright, so you can do what you like. It's a bit like Popeye the Sailor Man is now the same thing. So Popeye is now Popeye the Slayer Man, and it's a dreadful film. They haven't bothered to put any kind of level of detail, and so they just stuck the word Popeye on it and made him the Slayer instead, and it's pretty garbage, really. I've watched both of them, and they're pretty. It's like Winnie the Pooh, though. Winnie the Pooh is also a horror. Why do they make them horror movies? Honestly, now I'm wondering this. So we've got Winnie the Pooh, which is a horror movie. There's actually two of them. There's Screamboat Willie, which is Steamboat Willie. We've got Popeye the Sailor Man, and what's the other one they've got? The Banana Bunch or something similar. Like the animatronic peoples from back in the day. I'm pretty sure they're a movie as well, which very weird. Why would you go that route with them? I suppose if it made them to adult stars, it might be a little bit more worrying, realistically, content wise. I heard that's an interesting thing I heard. I think we discussed Snow White, and it was a very poorly made live action movie. It seems that the main female star of that has now decided that she's going to leave acting, and she's joined OnlyFans because that's where you go after you finish acting. Resume play on game. No. Yes, it's definitely an adventure. Have we roll up, the circus in town? Do you know, we have played this, but we played it on What's on the Tape. I know we've played it on What's on the Tape because I remember playing it now. Oh my god. Yeah, and it kind of, the moment I see that and the way it looks, I think of Killer Clowns from Outer Space, a fantastic film, well worth watching, just because the art, the sort of animatronics, the special effects, just brilliant. What now? Enter tent. Okay. Hang on, it's too dark to see, and then we do it. Exit tent. Leave tent. Let's go east. Where are we now? Look. Nothing special. East. We're just turning around in circles. West. West. North. South. Ooh, south. We've gone south. Where are we now? We are... What is that? Can you tell? Is that like hills on the road? It is, isn't it? South again. East. West. North. What about carrying? Inventory. I for inventory. Petrol can empty. Car keys. And penknife. Alright, okay. Petrol can empty. Light the fuel. I'm only kidding. Right. Enter. Tent. Turn on light. Turbon light. Turn on. Don't know what. Actually, turn works. North. Shout. Talk. Okay, nothing special happens. Wait. Fart. It's a surprise party. And then everybody goes, surprise! Yeah? No? Okay, maybe just me. It's too dark to do anything, people. We're gonna have to give it. We're gonna have to go there. I'm gonna see if there's one more thing on the tape before we go, but I don't think there will be. I think what's on the tape is well and truly over. I think we're at the end of this one, and next week, if you haven't already choose in this episode as well, which you'd like for the end of the season, we've literally got the sniff of tape, just a taste of tape left here. This has been a really good season. I've really enjoyed this one. There have been so many old favourites and so many great new ones and ones we've seen before. And as I say, the Circus of Adventure, we've definitely seen that before. Fast forward a little bit. I'd very much like to thank OnyxBox for sending this little collection to me of tapes. It's really made for an interesting season 26. No, we're definitely done, peoples. We have literally no tape left. I'll say no tape. There's a little bit of air, fresh air. No, that's it. We're at the end of the tape, and we're done. Anyway, I will see you next week for the winner of the end of the season game. It's either going to be the 10 great games or the live ammo. One of the two will have won, and we'll play through the whole lot. I'll see you later. Bye bye now.